What it do, people? Boo, 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 boo.
So it's
Nyaki, I look stressed.
Huh?
I look stressed.
Who looks stressed?
Me.
Are you stressed?
Hey, Doug. Maybe this is why we have tea time. Ka-ching. You know, to catch up, see what it do on the other side of the country.
It does what it does. Well, if you're new here, hello, welcome to Tea Time Podcast. Myself, Nyaki and Kopano. Hot podcast by ClubSheIs. If you've got your tea, we're going to be spilling the tea today. If you don't, pause, get your tea, come back, so that you can drink your tea while we spill the tea. That's the whole point of this podcast. We like to keep it short. We like to keep it crisp, to the point, but also like fire, because that's what we're here. We're not just like chatting and chatting. So she says, as she said, chatting, but we're going to be talking about the one shortcut you're ignoring in your business, and it starts with a C, and its name is consistency.
Consistency.
As business owners, our favorite thing is to talk about funnels, is to talk about marketing, is to talk about content creation, all of that stuff. But honestly, none of that works if you're not consistent about it, and that's what we're going to be diving in today.
Yeah, we tend to be very sporadic. I've got a content plan. Content, boop. There's one. 2 weeks later, boop. And then maybe 1 week you're like really motivated now. You're really motivated now because you saw some other person's success story. So then you're just posting like for 7 days straight, and then you stop because it's like, it doesn't work. And it's like, sis, did you even try though? Like, did you? But I think a lot of the about yourself is like, okay, is it working? And then you've tried it for a short period of time, and then you start doubting yourself, you start doubting the method, you start doubting the whole entire process, and then you kind of like stop. So today we're going to chat about consistency, right? The shortcut you've been missing and what you can do about it.
So the first point is that a lot of us think like that we need to be motivated when we run our businesses. And I can tell you right now is that motivation is not the problem, right? When we are motivated, especially in the beginning, it's high energy, it's function, we're like determined to do the thing. It gets boring, right?
Yeah.
It gets really boring very quickly.
And frustrating.
It gets frustrating when things aren't working the way that you need to. And people think that they need more motivation, but actually what they need is more structure. And like, we don't show up because we're not inspired. We don't show up because we don't know what to do next. And we kind of in the previous podcast about like people just kind of like not setting time to do things and just kind of being like all over the show. But like some of the times we just like put it out there and let's see how it'll work. And then if it doesn't work, then you get demotivated, and then you have to take a mental break. Nothing wrong with taking a mental break. And then we take a mental break and have our mental breakdown, and then come back and try and resume, and then just stop.
Yeah. And it doesn't really, you don't even give it time to like get the momentum. Because, if consistency was a motivation thing, then very few people would be consistent. And it can't be on motivation, because motivation is actually very tied to your emotions. So if you but these life systems, like they say, don't set habits, set systems. And it's the same thing with consistency. Motivation is very finite. It comes in a box, in a package. Once the package is finished, the package is finished. What do you do after that?
I love that. Motivation is the mood, but consistency is a system.
Exactly.
Love that. Love it. So the things about the coaches, consultants, business owners that work, right? The people who succeed, the people who do well, are the ones that have actually been doing this for a long time, and they do the same thing over and over and over and over again. If you look back on like their anything, their content, their podcasts, their business ideas, their LinkedIn posts 6 months ago, then look at them a year ago, then look at them 2 years ago. And it's like, it's so amazing to see, especially like right now. So the person that I'm thinking about is Nyaki Kopano, the personal branding expert. And like, she
Yep,
is an
yep.
overnight success. She's been doing this for like 15
So long,
years.
guys. If you have been following her for like the longest time, even when she was employed, she's been singing the same song when she was an employee. It's about discovering the power of something and then just being able to sing that song just over and over and over again. Anything like I saw this saying like years ago that consistency is a true brand builder. Like I think consistency is a true business builder. If you the mindset that worked for me, Nyaki, funny enough, and it's funny, it's because I've been an entrepreneur for many years, but the thing that worked the best for ClubSheIs 2.0 was seeing ClubSheIs as my 9 to 5. Because I think as entrepreneurship, we wanted to be a whenever I feel like a thing, because I own my time, I manage my time, but actually seeing it as, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm going to work. Like,
And definitely, and definitely, you have to go to your job. Like I go to my job. Like you go to your job.
you got a job, I got a job too. Like, and that's the we are so consistent with like our 9 to 5s because we have a boss. And a lot of people need to know that you should have like your internal boss who is looking at your content, who is looking at, even if you're doing YouTube, even if you're doing TikTok, even if you are, doing scones. Like I did scones yesterday, I'm doing scones today, I'm doing scones tomorrow. And we think that, in life, switching things up is going to make us more relevant. Switching things up is going to, make us more interesting. But the truth is that switching things up is a thing that's keeping you broke because you're this today, that tomorrow, and people don't know what to expect from you. There's no trust being built at all. So now the question is, Nyaki, how do we actually then build consistency? If we're saying that, okay, fine, switching things up is not going to work for me, the diversity thing, spontaneous is not going to work. How do I then stay consistent?
Well, you know me, my link's automating. But before automating, because people are like, yeah, I need to automate everything. I need to automate my life. Like, you actually need to know what tasks you do. Like, so it's important that, so my husband is a systems engineer, so he's very much into like systems thinking. And so, like, every time I want to do something, which is very annoying most of the time, it's like, okay, but what's the process? Like, what is the step-by-step process? And then you have to break it down into granular levels. So in project management, it's called the work breakdown structure, the WBS. And the work breakdown structure says you take this big task, right? So the big task is, I want to create a YouTube channel. Well, I want to become successful on YouTube. Okay, what does that mean? I need to have a YouTube channel. Okay, what does that mean? Like, break that down. I need to create content weekly, right? What does that mean? I need to research and script my content weekly. Okay, what does
Yep.
that mean? It means I
Yep.
need to be coming with fresh ideas on the daily. Okay, what does that
Yep.
mean? It means I need to be consuming information that's actually going to be giving me relevant, interesting thing. What does that mean? It means that
Yeah.
maybe I'm watching like other people's vlogs. I'm actually like watching
Researching
interesting
my own.
so that I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yep.
yes, you want to be a YouTube content creator, but it actually starts with the small habits and the schedule
Yep.
that we set as ourselves. So number one, I think it's about scheduling, like, so work breakdown structure, like actually breaking down your goals into smaller, manageable deliverables and tasks. And I'm talking like a project manager here, but it is what it is. So smaller, manageable deliverables and tasks, and ticking them off as you go, right? And then repeating those things, because the unfortunate thing with anything operational, and this is difficult because I'm a project manager, and projects are generally, a project is something that has a definite start and an end, right? So you know it's going to have a beginning and it has an end date. And that's easy to get through, even if it's a long project, right? Like I used to build housing projects that would take years, 5 years to complete. But you know, at the end of 5 years, this thing is
It's
finished and
done.
you get
It's done.
to work. But a
Yep.
business is not a project. A business is operational, which means in 5 years' time, you're going
Ongoing.
to be doing last year and the year
Ongoing.
before
Yep.
all the time. And so, like, it's a switch for a lot of us, especially when we
Yeah.
think of, like, oh, I just need to do this and then I'll be done. There are things in your business that are projects, registering your CPI/CP. You only do that once, right? But technically not, because you also have to make sure that
Because you have to
every year
keep
you
going back and doing your doing your
whatever.
returns. No, you don't return to that month, that annual fee that you have to keep doing. But that's the thing, right, Nyaki? It's funny because I'm thinking about a system that we had at the beginning and we had to restart it. Remember, we were speaking about like our ad target, our ad spending target. So at the end of
Yes.
every month, it wasn't just like, oh, okay, we made 100K this month. It's like, okay, cool. And then we move on. No, it's like, okay, where did it come from? How did it work? Because we can have an ad running and it's working and it just keeps working forever. But if we're not going back and checking on it, and we have our system that at the end of every month, we're going to check on it to make sure our system is still working. Like, that's the thing. When you're breaking down the task into projects, like you break a business down into projects, from projects into tasks, like how do they actually fit into your daily life? Like, where do they fit? Okay, I'm going to have a YouTube channel. I'm going to be a famous YouTuber. Okay, what does that mean? I'm going to have weekly videos. What does that mean? Okay, I'm going to have to film. Maybe I'm going to film twice a week, and every day I'm going to film 3 videos. I have 6 videos in total. Okay, what does that mean? That means that on Monday, I am researching. Tuesday, I am filming. Wednesday, I'm editing. Do you know what I mean? And what time are you actually going to do those things? So you need to break it down into like the task, but how does that task fit into your life? At what time is that going to actually happen? So I actually film my videos. I know, like, I do YouTube videos again now. I have to film them on days when I'm not dropping off the kids. It's the only practical way it's going to happen. Unless, otherwise, it's floating in the air, and at some point during a week, I have to catch my videos from from the sky. That doesn't work. You have to set up a system to say at what time, how is it going to fit into my life? And if you don't break it down into those actionable tasks that are specific that you can tick off, then you're not going to get it done. Break it down, break it down, schedule them, bet as much as you possibly can, and make sure that you actually have a way to check in. Like, how are you going to check in? Like, who's going to check in with you? How's it going to get done? We don't have bosses in our businesses, but maybe we have besties and we have buddies who can check in with us.
Or we've got ClubSheIs.
Well, you got all the besties all in one batch.
Shameless plug. And you also are going to have to learn all your automation. So, like, automation is the last step. You can't automate infrastructure. And so once you've done all of that, then you can absolutely automate it. And there's thousands of tools you can use to automate it. But like the whole thing, and I think what Kopano and I are both saying is, don't guess. Just build the system, build the tasks, build the process, build the system, and let it fit into your life. And be realistic, I think, about how your life. Because like Kopano sometimes does it. She'll be like, no, we'll do like 7 videos in like the next hour, and then it's like, but Kopano, realistically, like there are people banging your door like outside. Like, let's think about this. Think about this logically, okay? Realistically. Or for me, it takes me like, I'll say, okay, I'm going to shoot like 5 videos today. But it takes me 10 hours to shoot 1 video because I mumble and I fumble through my words. So I know that I need to have the whole weekend ready to shoot 3 videos. Yep. Because that's the way my life goes. Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to be a one-hit wonder. No.
It takes time to get to that point, right? Like, it takes time to have it down to a science. Like, it really takes time for, like, for example, Nyaki, when we set up the podcast setup, it took like hours for us to get that setup right. And then after we did it, we left it there because we're just like, we're not doing this again. Like, even today, like, it takes hours. And this is not just for filming, this is with everything. You have to find your flow, and once you find it, keep coming back to it. Because the problem with many of us is we find it once, rattle, we flow with it, and we never go back. So then we get out of practice, we get out of the habit, it gets hard for us to do it again, and that's the trick of consistency. The motivation that you have for consistency is that it gets better and better and easier the more you do it. Like, the more you practice filming, the more you practice doing your ads. Like, if you are not good at your Facebook ads, but you tell yourself that I'm going to check on my ads every morning and I'm giving myself 30 minutes for ads. And if I check on it the rest of the time, I'm just researching other people's ads. You're just going to get so good at it. But if you're going to do it once a month, like, the trend is going to come and go and leave you behind. Because there's no consistency is not there for you. So the trick about consistency, the motivation for consistency is you shouldn't motivate yourself to do the thing, but the motivation should be the reward of consistency, which is what you get on the other end of consistency, which is so beautiful. And consistency is rare, guys. We live in a very mediocre world. So if you just stick around and you're consistent, you could have like the most boring thing, but if you just show up all the time, you're gonna win.
Love that. So the end here is you don't need a 90-day plan. You just need to show up for the next 7 days consistently.
That's it.
That's.
And if you don't know what to do, just join the club. We'll tell you.
Yes, we will. We will literally give you a step-by-step 12 weeks of what you so that you can make 24,000 rand, at least 24,000 rand. They will give you money back. That's how bold our claim is in the club.
Yep.
We've said that you don't need to figure it out on your own. If you join the club and you follow the steps that we have put inside of the club, the 12-week program that we've given you, you follow that consistently and you show up for yourself. You do the work and you have proof that you've done the work, and it doesn't work,
we'll give you all your money back.
Then our thing doesn't work. Then we are scammers, and we're not scammers. We know that if you just put your head down for at least 3 months in your business, some of us are holding on to diamonds that need to be. Alright, guys, that's it. See you another time. Goodbye.
Bye.